Today, we're diving into a case that is so disturbing. It sounds like it's coming straight out of a horror movie, but I assure you, it's very much real. We're talking about a family living in unimaginable conditions, living outside and in man-made mud caves. Along with the horrific conditions of the place they call home, there are allegations of horrific abuse, which is exactly what blew this case wide open. But before we get into the disturbing details of this case, as most of you can probably tell, my hair is very important to me, and keeping it long, full, and healthy is a top priority. So when I noticed that my hair was starting to look more thin, I knew I needed to take action. So that is why I partnered with Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. You can see faster growing hair and less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Everyone's root causes for hair thinning are so different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth is not going to cut it. Nutrafol has multiple different formulas tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow throughout different stages, such as postpartum, menopause, and for different lifestyles, such as plant-based diets. Nutrafol is physician-formulated with 100% drug-free ingredients, which support visibly thicker, stronger hair from within by targeting the root causes of thinning, such as stress, hormones, aging, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism, as all of these things change throughout every woman's life. I started using Nutrafol several months ago now, and I've noticed some incredible changes. I've seen my hair looking overall fuller and more healthy, along with significantly less shedding. I used to pull out literal wads of hair in the shower almost every time I took one, and now it's down to just a few strands. It's amazing. So, start your hair growth journey now with Nutrafol. Right now, Nutrafol is offering my audience $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you click the link down below and enter promo code RachelShannon. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair by ordering today. Using my code also helps to support my channel. So once again, click the link down below and use code RachelShannon today. Thanks again so much to Nutrafol for partnering with me on today's video. With that being said, let's jump into the case. Today's case starts in October of 2024 when the New Mexico State Police received a report from the Roswell Police. In that report, a 16-year-old was attending New Mexico National Guard Academy when she alerted police to the horrific living conditions her parents had forced her to endure in Deming, New Mexico. I want to note that none of the names of the children I'm about to talk about have been released because they are all minors. Either way, the 16-year-old girl informed police that she and her 6 younger siblings were forced to live in underground man-made caves with her parents and a couple other adult relatives, occasionally who visited, on a property that was covered in trash and filth. Not only that, but since the age when she was just 12, she said that she and her siblings were all forced to participate in sexual acts with each other, her parents, and other relatives, or in front of her parents and other adults. 3 years prior, when she was 13, she was pregnant but forced to undergo an abortion performed by her own parents. She then became pregnant once again at her current age, 16, but again, the pregnancy was terminated. Both abortions were done at their own property, and the removed fetuses were buried somewhere on that 35-acre land. All of this was the result of unwanted sex that was forced on her by her parents and other adults in her life. After this report was made back on October 23, 2024, officers made their way out to the property to check things out. Immediately upon their arrival, officers were met with what they described as land resembling a city trash landfill. There were buckets of feces, giant mounds of trash, rotting food, dead and rotting animals, broken appliances, campers, vehicles, and old clothes scattered all around the area. Officers did release body cam footage of this initial visit, and so you can see just how filthy the land is. It genuinely does look like a landfill and not like a property where people are living. In the footage, we see as they make their way through, looking astonished at the state of this property. There are dogs hanging out outside, barking at the officers. As they go further, they find additional animals, including a horse that is locked in a tiny enclosure.
Yeah, let's go try to make contact, bro.
I don't see their white van. Just hello. Like this old white van. Here.
Yeah, maybe they parked it back here. Let's go look. Hello, New Mexico State Police.
The dogs are back there, so I feel like
Just, I don't think they'd booby trap anybody. You guys already know. Just 48. There's a white van? Oh.
that's a different one.
Oh, okay.
That's one of those.
So this is the camper.
Oh, nobody. Oh. This ain't right, dude. This pen?
Yeah. One of them just hopped over that. One
Dude.
of them grab a call.
After passing the enclosure, they make their way further until they find what looks like a camp area set up. There's a makeshift roof sitting atop some vehicles, it looks like, maybe some bricks and some sort of structure made from cement blocks. Past that, there's a giant hole in the ground surrounded by a metal gate. Nearby, there's a trampoline with some pillows and blankets on top. As they walk up to this area, police announce their presence and let them know that agents from the Department of Children, Youth, and Families are with them. They seem to have checked everywhere they could, not knowing exactly what the actual residence was supposed to be. There were multiple vans and trailers parked all around, so they knocked on the doors and tried looking inside, but they had no luck. They couldn't find anybody there.
Hello, guys. Hello. New Mexico State Police. Mr. Cordell. Melvin Cordell. Valerie Cordell. We want to talk to you guys real quick. We have CYFD here. Hello. Hello.
They described.
New Mexico State Police. Hello.
They right here. This is what they described. Hello. Is that their well? Probably.
There's Porta's bathroom stuff out here. We're just trying to make contact with you guys. Information. Let's go. Hello.
This the other one?
This can't be okay.
What's
Bro.
Hello, stay please. Anyone here?
Hello. This is the trampoline.
Another trampoline here.
Okay.
What's the
Yeah. Whew. Crazy smell, bro. Oh. All right, senorita. I can't. We checked the trailer. The trailer has stuff stacked up. The door's not secured. We came check this trailer. There's stuff stacked up. The door, I could probably push it in, but I'm knocking nothing there. So the only thing that I can think of the residence is what was described, which is the bed, because at least that's true. That's known to be true. The little pooping containers that are everywhere.
My biggest concern is like if the kids are safe. Like there's a lot of concerns, but just like there's no like barrier. You know, one of the little ones can just straight up fall in that big old hole and really hurt themselves. That's like my biggest thing right now is like that big old drop. Because even myself trying to walk through that is a little.
Yeah. Oh, is that the free food that they get?
Yeah, but look, this isn't edible. Like these yogurts have
100%. You're right. Yeah, look at that's probably out in the sun.
Yeah.
Walmart's or Deming's hot. Okay. Whew.
After looking around the property and making note of all of the safety hazards and other concerns, they left. By the following day, October 24th, officers returned to the property where they finally got to meet and speak with the mother and father of that 16-year-old girl, 50-year-old Melvin, and 41-year-old Valerie Cordell. When officers approached them, they appeared very calm and were not at all surprised that officers were there. They appeared very much willing to speak with officers, playing it cool and making small talk with the troopers as they waited for the other officers to arrive. As they spoke, officers asked them about their day-to-day lives. Melvin explained that they grow their own vegetables, raise their own livestock, and try to be self-sustaining. They wanted to feed their family homegrown food and offered it to neighbors and others in their surrounding area. But they explained that certain vegetables are harder to grow than others, so they had to work hard to maintain their gardens to ensure they were getting all of the nutritious foods possible. But as we saw, they had crates of rotting food all around, making it seem obvious that they weren't all that concerned with the quality of their meals. They had feces and dead animals lying everywhere, and that horse was clearly not cared for at all. They also knew what these two individuals were being accused of, which was horrendous sexual abuse against their own children.
Well, vegetable garden, for the most part. We're not interested in market produce because we would rather just be self-sustaining and then be able to feed others, be able to share.
We had a lot of horses, but every time we left after whoever threatened our kids, every time we came back, one of our horses was dead.
Yeah, we lost livestock, lots of it. We had a pretty good collection of dogs ourselves, and they kind of protected our pets for a while, but then they were taken. As soon as they were taken, we started losing livestock again.
After talking about their day-to-day habits, the other officers finally arrived to talk to them as well. They brought them to the station where they conducted their interviews. After those interviews, they were released as investigation continued. As far as I could find, there is no official record of what really happened in those interviews or why they weren't initially arrested for these conditions. That part of this case still remains unclear. However, under 2 months later, on December 17th, 2024, officers returned to that property, this time with a search warrant. Once again, they made their way around the property, taking in every bit of filth and trash until they made their way to the first cave. And within that cave, there was a mattress with some bedding, along with boxes of clothes and some books. From there, they continued looking around, finding various places where it appears family members slept. They found that there were several 4 to 6 foot deep mud tunnels dug out all around the property. And again, in some of those other tunnels, officers found mattresses and pillows where it's believed the children slept. As I stated, there were also vans and trailers on the property, so officers made their way into those as well. Once again, no one was found in those vehicles either, but they found a mattress, bedding, and clothes within them, indicating that someone slept inside of there.
Say police, search warrant. If you're out here and hear me, make yourself known. Watch me. seem like it, but there's a bunch of like random areas where they stay at. State police, search warrant! If you can hear me, make yourself known! State police, search warrant! If you're in here, make yourself known! Probably one of the cleaner trailers.
After spending quite a bit of time on that massive property, officers finally found Melvin and Valerie Cordell. With their help, officers found several laptops, which they said they were going to collect, but Melvin said that they never even used those laptops. One of them they hadn't even taken out of the box. At that time, Melvin actually apologized for the mess, saying that as soon as they parked their van, they were overrun with mice. What a crazy thing to say, given the state of the rest of their property, as if mice are responsible for all of that.
What happened to the one that, or do you still have the one that you did use by any chance?
No, we don't have one that we used. We had one years ago, but it doesn't really turn on anymore.
It doesn't?
I don't even know where
Do you
that's
still
at,
have that
though.
one?
I don't know where it would be.
Good, but I
You
just
don't know where it would be at?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember when.
Okay.
When did it?
Go away.
Oh, they're still
go
in the
away.
boxes and everything.
Stop it. I have taken this one out and I tried to connect it with our phone. I don't think I ever did.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
was going to, but I don't think that I ever did.
Okay.
This one I have charged it and I
Okay.
powered it on once.
Okay.
Do you need it? The box is dirty. Or when we parked our
You think it'd
van.
be better with the box and everything? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we'll keep everything together. We'll take the box too and everything.
All right. This is just the tea that my wife gave me.
No, yeah. You're good.
I'm sorry for the mess. As
No.
soon as we parked this, we got overrun with mice.
Oh no. Come on.
Oi, dogs. Okay.
They have to stay clean too. So
Yeah.
fans are gonna be all.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. It's the end of the day.
Now, as I stated, there were a few different vans and trailers located on the property. Melvin told officers that all 8 of their children, aged between 16 and their youngest being 6 months old, all lived with them on the property. He said that his oldest son slept in the white van, which had no tires. 2 of the trailers were being used as storage. One of those trailers seemed to be a main trailer that the family used to live in, but it had roof damage, so the family hadn't actually lived in it for at least 10 years. He went on to show investigators the cave where he, Valerie, and a few of the children slept. It was a 6-foot deep hole dug into the ground and reinforced with dry mud. There was a mattress with multiple buckets surrounding where it appeared they went to the bathroom. He then showed officers a second cave where he explained that the rest of the children slept. This cave was more expansive and included several different tunnels, one of which was fashioned into a bathroom. All of it was just unbelievable that this even existed and that people were living inside of it. As that search warrant was being executed, other officers made their way to another address, which was listed as a residence of the Cordells. This was an actual home, and when they made their way inside, once again, there was clutter and filth everywhere. In the front room, there was this hanging shoe storage with cloth pockets that were absolutely filled to the brim with Barbie dolls. It was just really creepy looking. And as they continued through the rest of the house, there was more trash, clothing items, discarded furniture, and other random items found.
Please. Stay please, search warrant. Door. Stay please, search warrant. Clear. Go ahead and get right. Click. Here. Uh-huh. Stepping out.
After those searches were conducted, investigators finally took the children into the custody of Family and Child Services with concerns for their safety. After taking the children, of course, forensic interviews were conducted. In those interviews, officers learned even further of the horrendous treatment those 7 children endured. All those children were made to either sleep outside in those tunnels or in broken down vehicles on the property for the prior 10 years, all as they suffered physical and sexual abuse at the hands of Melvin, Valerie, and other family members. The 16-year-old child reported that her parents would also use starvation as a punishment. They were often withheld food, even from the youngest children when they were infants. And as I stated, the oldest of these 7 children did confirm the reports of sexual abuse. Again, the oldest girl was forced to have sex with her father from at least the age of 12 years old. The others were also sexually abused. We don't have as much details about what they went through, but I can't imagine it was any less severe than what this 16-year-old went through. Valerie and Melvin would also invite other adult family members to visit the property, where they also participated in the sexual abuse of these children and would take inappropriate photos of them. And as I stated, the 16-year-old got pregnant 2 times before being forced to get 2 abortions, both performed by her parents, who allegedly took the fetuses and buried them on the property. These children endured constant physical anguish. They were made to sleep outside and withstand the elements, even in the scorching hot New Mexico summers. Their environment was surrounded by trash, feces, rotting food, and dead and rotting animals. The children said that they had called the authorities in the past, but nothing was ever done by police. In fact, anytime a police officer would visit the property, Melvin and Valerie would respond by abusing the children even further as soon as the officers left. When officers and journalists followed up on this case after it all came out and spoke with the neighbors, some of them said that they were very surprised to learn of how the children were being treated. They always appeared like a close-knit family who wanted to live off the grid and sustain themselves with homegrown food. But on the other hand, some neighbors said that they noticed the poor treatment of these children, noting that they were forced to sleep outside in the harsh weather conditions. Though we don't know why DCFS was not contacted by those neighbors, or if they had, why it was never followed up on. We are not sure exactly why it took so long after these searches and interviews to get an arrest, but finally, by February 21st, 2025, both Melvin and Valerie Cordell were arrested. At the time, Valerie was charged with 18 counts, including child abuse, criminal sexual penetration, and conspiracy. Melvin was handed 24 charges, including child abuse, criminal sexual penetration, sexual contact of a minor, and conspiracy to commit child abuse. He is also accused of, quote, destroying, changing, or hiding the 2 aborted fetuses, though I'm not sure if he's facing actual charges related to that yet. As of right now, both are being held in jail without bail. The most recent update on this case was from May 6th, and it's that both have pleaded not guilty to their charges. So, this is a very recent case, and it is still very much ongoing. I imagine that this case may take quite a while to actually prosecute, given the vast amount of land and sheer amount of trash and filth they now have to sift through. I'm also sure it's going to take quite a long time to interview all 7 children, or at least the ones that are old enough to talk and remember details about what they went through. I'm sure it's not easy for them to talk to investigators. They probably didn't get a lot of interaction from adults besides the ones that were abusing them. So they probably won't be comfortable sharing every detail of their lives right away. So that's something that also needs to be approached very carefully and over a period of time. If it's not done right, those kids may shut down and make it even harder to figure out what exactly those poor kids went through. So with that being said, I do believe that it will be a while before we hear more updates in this case. I know there's still so much more to unpack, but while it's still going through the process of the court system and investigators are still working the case, I wanted to discuss it because truly, this is one of the most bizarre stories I have ever heard. The conditions these kids were living under is mind-blowing, and again, it sounds like it's coming straight out of a movie. We've all heard of cases of children being subjected to living in disgusting houses that are filled with trash and filth, but I gotta say, having your family live in a cave and tunnels that you dug in the ground, that's a new one to me. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this case progresses. I'm also so relieved to know that those kids have been removed from those conditions. That 16-year-old is so very brave for bringing this forward to investigators, and I genuinely hope that she and her siblings are able to get the help they need and are able to move past this. Because what she and her siblings were allegedly subjected to is nothing that any child or adult, for that matter, should ever have to face. And so many children who are sexually abused feel ashamed or feel like they'll get in trouble if they tell anyone. But this 16-year-old found the strength and the will to tell someone. And I hope she knows that no matter what happens to her siblings or her parents, she likely saved each and every one of her siblings from years and years more of abuse. So I just hope she knows how brave she is. But that is where I'm going to end today's video, and now I want to hear from you all. What do you think about this bizarre stories about the caves they were supposedly living in? And what do you think about the 16-year-old coming forward? What do you think will happen to the parents? And do you think there'll be a trial? Let's discuss this and any other thoughts you have in the comments below. If you liked this video, please make sure to go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I put out new true crime and mystery videos every single week. Don't forget to turn the notification bell to on so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Spotify. All will be linked down below. And if you have any case suggestions, please make sure to fill out the Google form, which is also listed down below. With that, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.